how do you approach keyword research, like for a new website or a client? Walk us through like your first steps of this process, and I'm sure it varies from client to client, but yeah, what's kind of your first thoughts there?
Yeah, so you're totally right. A lot of people will say, I installed Yoast or Rank Math or all-in-one SEO, and I told it what keyword I thought was most pertinent to the page.
Yeah.
I entered it all, I put it in all of the right basic places, and now those tools say, green, you've optimized it for the keyword you wanted to optimize it for. But there's no like research into, is that the right keyword for this page?
Right.
What keywords are my competitors ranking for on pages that are like mine? Is there any search volume at all around the keyword that I picked? And more specifically, in my area, if I'm a local business. So there's a lot of questions to ask, and you definitely want to know what keyword you should be targeting before you go and optimize your pages.
Yeah.
So the first thing I like to do is I go out to Ahrefs and I do a site, I pull a site explorer report,
Hmm.
which basically is going to give me all of the quick stats of the report. And specifically for keywords, they have a keywords report. So they're going to immediately tell me this is what keywords their site is currently ranking for. This is
Hmm.
the search volume around it. And then I basically add all of the keywords to like a list. I start compiling a list in Ahrefs. So now we've got the keywords that they're currently ranking for, but that doesn't mean that that's all the keywords they should be ranking for. Lots of times I'll see sites that are not optimized well, and they're only ranking for branded terms, like they're just their business name. They're not actually ranking for any of the services, or anything like that that they should be, that people would search for when looking for a business that would provide that service. So then what I do is normally there will be like one or two keywords, or I've talked to the client about what their primary services are, and that gives me an idea. So let's say a landscaping company, they say, well, we install grass or turf, or we do lawn mowing, or we do pavers, or we build patios, all that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
So I can go to Ahrefs and I can do some keyword research in a totally different place and just plug those in as naked or generic keywords. So just landscaping, or landscaping company, or I've seen some jokes before about SEO where it's literally like 20 things, 20 variations of the one keyword. You can come up with a ton of them. So I kind of
Right.
like spitball it real quick. What are all of the variations that might be of landscaping real fast? And then I have it pull a report for me, and it says, these are the actual search volumes across the country for those terms by month. And
Nice.
I'll select some of those and add those to the list. Then it'll tell me, like, okay, these are also search terms we would recommend that are around those keywords. So then it's going to tell me, oh, well, you thought of landscaping, but you didn't think about plant maintenance or whatever. And so I'll say, yeah, that is actually a service that they do. Add that to the list.
Hmm.
Um, and then it'll say things like others also rank for, or additional variations or questions that people ask. And I will pull up all of those and add them to that list. Then I'll go back to that list and then I'll actually ask it to tell me again what it would suggest.
Hmm.
Because now that I have kind of a broader keyword base, it's going to give me more suggestions. So once I feel like I've exhausted all of those possible things that I can think of and that Ahrefs can give me, and you can use lots of tools. There's
Sure.
lots of them out there. Moz is probably another one people are familiar with.
Uh-huh.
Um, then I will go and I'll find like what the top ones were, and I will go out and actually Google it for the area. So in like an incognito browser, if it's a local business.
Sure.
Um, Actually, if it's not, even if it's a local business, there's a different aspect to it with local. But even if they're a national company, I just want to go and see who's ranking in that space. And so Ahrefs and other tools like that will frequently say, hey, these are who your competitors are, but they'll base it off of what you're already ranking for.
Mhm.
And so that's not necessarily always accurate or helpful. So I'll go and I'll search actually on Google for those terms and see who's there. And then based off of like the top three that I continually see over a bunch of those keywords, I'll go back to Ahrefs and run site reports on those competitors. And then I'll go into the competitors' keyword research and figure out, okay, what are they ranking for? Because they're ranking really well for these types of terms. And anything that I haven't already added to that keyword list, I will then add to the keyword list as well. So it's like multiple avenues for figuring out what your client should actually be ranking for.
Uh-huh.
Um, it takes a bit of time, but that's kind of where I start.